We need more judges and we need them now. That's the plea from various organizations who are concerned about the long delays in allocating civil trials dates in court. There are instances where trial dates for civil trials are allocated as far as 3 years. In fact, the earliest available trial dates at the Johannesburg High Court have now moved to October 2029. So if you have a matter around the road accident fund or a case about medical negligence and others, it could take up to 5 years and 1 month to get your case to trial. For cases involving businesses, divorces, unlawful arrests, and others, you could wait until 2027. And this has been attributed to the fact that the volume of cases set down cannot be heard sooner by the number of available judges or acting judges. I mean, the high courts in Gauteng, this is Pretoria and Johannesburg, are actually the busiest in the country. If I'm not mistaken, the Gauteng High Courts, these high courts handle more than 50% of all civil cases in South Africa. So we're facing here a looming crisis in our hands, and we need something to be done and to be done sooner. The Gauteng Judge President Dustin Mlambo joins us on the line for a conversation about this. And please let me know how long you have had to wait for your matter to be heard in court. And maybe your matter has now been put on the schedule, but you're going to have to wait a couple of years. What impact has that had on you? Judge President, thank you so much for making time for us. Good morning.
Good morning, Clement. How are you today?
I'm all right, thank you. So we've had this problem, Judge President, for quite some time. I have spoken to you about this before, where you were raising concerns around these delays. I've interviewed the former Chief Justice Zondo as well about it, where he was raising his concern, but it's not getting better, or is it?
Not necessarily, but we've started talking seriously about what options we could introduce to see how we can tackle the problem.
And what are some of those options? Because when you add the time that is taken for litigants to obtain legal assistance and thereafter to go through the litigation process, pleadings to close, pre-trial process, etc., the actual full impact of the prolonged wait becomes clear.
Indeed. One of the options that we think we want to seriously look at implementing is to encourage parties to first seriously consider compromising their claims through mediation. So we have spoken with the two DJPs that we may want to ensure that parties satisfy us when they come and ask for a trial date, that they have made a serious effort at mediating and settling their dispute. And this is based on the fact that we have mentioned in the past that most cases, when they come to trial, when a judge is allocated to them, their matters settle. So our thinking is these matters can settle much earlier than them coming to trial.
So in divorce cases, Judge President, does that mean that longer periods of uncertainty over crucial issues like child custody and maintenance? In other words, which cases are most affected by these kind of delays and capacity constraints?
No, it's the civil cases, mostly like the RAF type, third party, and claims against the Minister of Police or Health related. Mostly it's that category of cases. The divorce cases, maintenance cases, follow other processes. We've got dedicated family court roles, which decongest the ordinary civil role, and we put specialist judges into those roles to deal with those matters.
There's also an impact on the speed with which judgments can be delivered. My understanding is that to improve the lead times, for instance, for when cases go to court, no time is allocated for judges to prepare for cases or write judgments, which means judgment writing is then left for weekends or during court recess or on holiday, which then means the rate of delivery of those judgments is actually slower.
No. I think the way it should be stated is judges have time to prepare, maybe not as sufficient as our appellate colleagues have, but judges get allocated cases in very good time, like those that require enough preparation, like your special motions or appeal court cases. They get those cases a lot earlier and they prepare, but they prepare whilst doing other work. And most of that preparation actually happens during recesses, and it's not holidays; it's recesses. The issue is judges don't get judgment writing time. So once you hear a matter, it's due. You must start writing on it. So that's why you also utilize the recesses. Once you prepare for the future term, you also are finalizing your reserve judgments. That's how it works. So because of the volume that judges face, they are really snowed under. It's quite a big ask to get judges who are sitting in seriously complex cases to focus and write those judgments and also prepare for other cases that are coming.
So all of this, Judge President, has a serious impact, at least in my view, on the confidence people have in the judiciary and just the justice system as a whole. What do you think is the impact of these kind of delays and the capacity constraints? Because some will argue that it may even erode the rule of law, which we cannot afford.
Well, I cannot go to that extent of saying it may erode the rule of law. Yes, you may question the confidence that people may have in the justice system. It takes so long to process their dispute. But as I say, we've met the minister, and she was responding to the media outcry as to why things are like this, and we've agreed to meet again, and there are other options that we would look at. But one option that we gave her was if she could allow us to appoint additional judges that we will use dedicated only to the civil trial roles to try and bring forward all those cases that are getting dates in the future. So we're going to be meeting again with her, but she's going to be harnessing from her amongst her colleagues, right, who she can also bring to the meeting, whose work is also affected by these long trial delays. And we are hopeful, as I say, when we start being sparing and tough and strict in terms of allocating trial dates, that will encourage people to explore mediation a lot more seriously, and it will decongest those people coming and asking for trial dates. Yes.
The most crucial intervention, at least in the short to medium term, is more money allocation to the judiciary. But does government even have that money? I mean, the national fiscus is under severe pressure. The economic situation is deteriorating, and I know you are confident in the meeting you've had with the minister, but there have been other meetings with other ministers before, Judge President. You know that. I mean, in October, was it 2021, when the then Minister of Justice, Ronald Lamola, appointed the retired Deputy Chief Justice Dikgang Moseneke to chair a committee to rationalize the jurisdiction of the high courts. I mean, what's happened to that? So I feel like there are constantly these meetings, but are we actually getting money on the table so that we start seeing more judges or acting judges appointed and the situation changes?
Well, that committee that's chaired by retired Deputy Chief Justice Moseneke is finalizing its report actually. So we have had an engagement as heads of high courts, and we've had a frank discussion with the retired DCJ and his team, and they've heard where we stand about some of the interim recommendations they had made. But we hope we've persuaded him to actually take more seriously our plea that not only Gauteng but other divisions require additional judicial capacity. So that report will be coming out soon. I have that confidence because we were the last stakeholder. We'd asked for the meeting and he's met us. We met just over 2 weeks ago. So that report is going to come out. It will come with serious recommendations.
All right.
And I can tell you that one of those recommendations that we've made in particular as Gauteng is the reason we are so inundated with cases is there are causes of action like road accidents that happened in other provinces where the claims are lodged in Gauteng, simply because that's how the jurisdictional arrangement is. So we've made recommendations that perhaps we should relook that where the accident happened elsewhere, it must be initiated there and not come to Gauteng.
All right, let's hope the solution comes sooner rather than later. Also, we need to establish new courts to bring justice closer to the people. All of these things are going to require money. Dustin Mlambo, the Gauteng Judge President, thank you so much for making time for us.
Current events, developing stories,
tough questions.
Your voice making a difference.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa.